Hello, everyone, and welcome to Risen Esports Rampage Week 2. Tonight we have Team BC versus Team 23. Are you excited, my guy?
Yeah, I'm definitely interested to see what happens. Rampage games are always at least fun to watch, if not able to learn something from them. So
Oh
I'm
yeah, we
definitely
don't
excited
have
to see what the teams get today.
much to go off of this season, but remembering the games from last season, they're an absolute blast to watch. I remember streaming quarterfinals or semifinals myself, and there was 50-minute games going at it every 5 minutes. Good time. Definitely a lot better than the old stall games we used to have in our games. We will
Well,
soon be getting into, in fact, not even soon, we are hopping right into the draft. So, this is exciting. We have a Anivia ban, Xin Shao, and Garen ban. Garen ban has to be a target ban. You can't
yeah,
tell me otherwise. I know the Misfortune ban was a target ban against Fizzy Gazette, but Garen. Can we talk
yeah.
about that for a second? Garen.
Well, personally, I had a player on my team who was a Garen one trick very early in the season. So there are those certain people who decide to pick him up. I think it's mostly have to do with being brainless and spinning around while killing people.
I can't blame him for that. I too enjoy some Garen myself. Big fan of Crit Garen, though, compared to most people. I don't think most people enjoy that, but I do.
Well,
Um,
the most popular build that I see on Garen is the insane regen build where you stack your passive, you get that War Mogs, you get the Spirit Visage, and you just like you walk out of a tower for 2 seconds, get all your health back, and walk right back in.
Never heard of it before, but you know what I'm not surprised about? This Zyrakan first pick coming out here for Team BC.
Yeah, it's pretty standard once you pick Zaya. I'm not sure if the duo themselves decided they were going to pick these champs or if they actually played these champs beforehand, but it always ends up for a really good bot lane, so Jarvan's going to have all the pressure on him to make sure that he can put them as far behind as possible.
Oh, hell yeah, man. Now, Braum Tristana here, that is a safe lane. But you know what does scare me? Fizzy Gazette's 36% winner on Tristana. Can we talk about that for a moment? He picked Tristana here. I understand it's safe, but I have a good feeling. I haven't watched him, so don't quote me on this, but I have a good feeling he's dangerous. Dangerous man.
Well, definitely going to quote you on it, but uh, as far as I know, Tristana synergizes pretty well with Braum, and Braum also counters Zaya pretty hard with the Unbreakable, I believe it is. Uh, and that just like it stops all of her feathers at Braum, so she can't get the clean cuts through Tristana and pull them back to get the snare. It just stops them all right at the front, which is, I mean, you can't go wrong with that. So
It's definitely a good point, though. One thing I am kind of curious about, all these jungle changes coming around. We got the scuttle changes and everything. We've all heard about the smite mid. Do you think it's gonna happen?
the Smite mid, I'm actually not familiar with that yet.
You're not familiar with that. Well, my friend, let me indulge you. Scuttle is a big boy now. He's got a big boy health bar, and he gives lots of golden experience. So much so that it's even worth it taking smite mid to control that. Now, what people could do is they could go spellbook so they can switch it up later so they don't have to hold on that smite late game. But I've definitely been seeing it around, and I'm interested to see if it's going to happen here. Maybe not so much on Aurelion Soul. I think he's going to need some other sums, but Syndra, I believe, can definitely happen on.
Well, I believe that Aurelion Sol usually takes spellbook anyway, even before the rework. Before the rework, but especially now after because he can actually instantly switch them and then have them on cooldown again. So Aurelion Sol usually takes teleport, possibly barrier in the early game, and then switches out to Ghost later on for better synergy with his W.
Correct me
But
if I'm wrong, but I thought Aurelion Soul took Ignite because he had insane early kill pressure early on, just pushed out those waves and maybe look for a free kill.
not that I was aware of. I was always under the impression that Aurelion was more of a scaling damage champ, and his early game was actually the weakest point.
Really? I believe you're incorrect, my friend. Because one of the things about one of the things about Aurelion Soul, I hate to kind of shut you down here, but Aurelion Soul has insane wave pushing. Level one can just get free poke off on basically any mid laner. If he's melee, he just bullies him out, gets him away from the wave. Range people are a little bit more safe. The Q, if you can catch him off guard with that, that's pretty nice, and you can look for really easy roams around level 3 or 4. because you just shove it down and you can just look for an easy roam bot, trying something up with your jungler. But that's why people take Ignite, is because he has that decent early kill pressure. But yeah, that's also why you would take Spellbook, is to change that, so you can go back to TP, because you don't want Ignite late game. That's pretty garbage.
Well, at least with the extra little added damage buff to Ignite, it may not be that bad in the late game anymore. Maybe not against the 5T team comp. We have a Jarvan, a Braum, a Tristana, a Shen, and a Syndra, so not too much innate healing around there. Tristana might get some lifesteal later on in the game. You know, Shen probably going to take Grass of the Undying, but Ignite's
Yeah,
not
that's not
super
enough to worry
necessary.
about.
Yeah, in late game at least, Ignite's more used for the Grievous Wounds rather than the damage. Although it has a chunk of damage. Like I said, it's Grievous Wounds. In case you weren't deciding to itemize in that direction, it's always nice. But again, healing team comp is what you need it for, and 5T did not choose to pick that this time around.
What I see going on a lot here though is 5T really, like, they don't have a lot of damage unless this Jarvan is going to go for more of a damage kind of build here. They really need this Tristana to actually output a lot of damage compared to the other team, because Team BC, they have Xayah, Aurelion Sol, and Gangplank to do all sorts of damage, while Team 5T, my bad, is only really relying on Tristana and Syndra here.
Right, but you also have to remember that uh, trading off damage for tanks is always it's always questionable, you know, because the tanks they do have the Braum and the Shen especially is really good for either locking down a carry or protecting your own. And while yeah, you see a lot of damage coming out from the side of BC, you don't see a lot of backline kind of dive damage. So Tristana can safely sit behind Braum if they play it right and just keep hitting people. Meanwhile, you have BC where you have a Jarvan, a Shen, you have the Syndra who are just going to be annihilating the squishy targets because you only have a Sejuani as your front line on the side BC. And I mean, Gangplank, yes, technically melee, but he's usually played as more of a caster, and it's not something you want to have in the front. So BC is going to have to play this a little bit more kite back, let them engage onto us, and we can output damage back because 5T does have that engage and BC does not.
Good point, good point. Now, one thing we are seeing in Champion Select here that you guys cannot see is Aurelion Sol will be taking Smite mid, in fact. So, what we did discuss shall in fact happen. Not so greedy with the Ignite kill, but definitely we're going to be seeing some Scuttle contestation early on. So that'll be good fun, good fun.
Yeah, and Scuttle is definitely more worth of a small objective to play around, at least for junglers, especially because of the changes with the recent patch 8.10. You do have the jungle camps, all are worth less experience, substantially enough to where instead of having 3 camps get you level 3, you now need 4. And the Scuttle is kind of like the trade off for that. You get a lot more experience in the Scuttle, so that taking the Scuttle kind of makes up for the experience you lose in your jungle.
I think it'll cause a lot more pressure between junglers to really be fighting over that, which is something that really like lacked, in my opinion, in the old patches. I feel like junglers would just kind of avoid each other. I mean, except for counter ganking, but like in the actual jungle, they just kind of like go around each other. They know where each other are and just go take their other camps, which is smart to deny their camps and not really like fight that. But these scuttles are really gonna force these junglers to like actually fight it out. So that'll be a good time. I think we'll see some more fighter junglers in the meta.
Well, in the past, you know, Scuttle wasn't really worth fighting over. There was not even a good amount of
That's what I
health.
mean
It's
when I
just a
say that,
tiny,
though.
yeah.
It's like Scuttle is now an actual objective that you really want to like strive for. I mean, that's hell. That's why mid laners take Smite now. So
It's not really more along the lines of like contesting the objective. It's really just seeing who can get that boost in the gold because I mean, what kind of minion or monster gives you 100 or like almost 100 gold at level 1, right?
yeah,
Like that's insane. Like you can get almost an entire wave's worth of gold on just a single monster, and
but that's
doing
why it's
so
worth
puts you so far
contesting.
ahead.
That's why
Yeah,
it's worth contesting. So see, we both proved each other's points
yeah.
in a way. In a way. One
But
thing that is interesting to note, though, another thing that we can see is Braum's actually taking Ignite in the bot lane. You know, I feel like with a more safe kind of bot lane that they're running here, they would actually go Exhaust. And also, Syndra's taking TP. But now I really still switch to Ignite. Hold on, my brain hurts.
Well, the reasoning behind taking Ignite in the bot lane is because Riot said themselves they buffed Ignite in, I believe it was patch 8.8 or 8.9. I can't remember which, but recently buffed Ignite to where they it does more damage and lasts for longer than a heal would. That's because of the fact that in mid lane, heal was outclassing Ignite as the most used summoner spell. So to do that, they buffed Ignite to be able to counter heal more. Well, now in the bot lane, you see that being taken more often because of the fact that it counters heal.
Ah, yes, the old
Exhaust,
1-2 switcheroo. My personal
well,
favorite.
nowadays exhaust is really only used against like more bursty assassin team comps.
Talon.
Uh, well, yes, and Zed, Talon, uh, Riven, like those really good backline dives that you really need good exhaust for. But as you can see with these team comps that both sides have drafted, they neither side really has that super hard backline dive. I mean, you do have a Jarvan, I guess, only if he really builds damage, Jarvan, because I mean, you have Xayah who can play safe with that ulti. You have Aurelion Sol who never has to get that close to begin with, and then well, Gangplank's Gangplank. He does crazy stuff.
Gangplank is insane. I'm wondering if he'll be able to really pull out the Gangplank here, though, especially against their comp. Their comp is pretty safe, except for the fact that Jarvan can really just dive on him. But I feel like, what's it called? Team 5T is going to be way too safe for this Gangplank to be really popping off and doing anything. I mean, maybe if Gangplank can kind of bully Shen out in top lane, maybe something can happen, but Shen's pretty safe into Gangplank. So I'm kind of interested to see how that matchup's going to go specifically. I think that'll be a good one.
Honestly, looking at these comps, I feel like this is going to be a very bot center game, and I know that that's so stereotypical, and really that's just the meta right now is a lot of bot lane focus. But
That's been the meta for a
especially
year.
in, especially in this game, because you do have the Xayah Rakan powerhouse on the side of BC, and 5T is going to have to either shut that down or get another lane so ahead that doesn't even matter.
5Ts
And
really need to get this Tristana going because she's their main source of damage. But, I mean, Syndra has that nice consistent damage and that good ult burst, but Tristana is their main source of damage. Also, we probably will not be seeing a damage drive in here because he is running Aftershock. So,
hmm.
unfortunate, to say the least. But we are
Well,
just about to
Aftershock
get into
is not
game.
that. Aftershock's not that bad of a mastery on Jarvan. I mean, when you gank, you tend to go for the knockup anyways. It's not really for the damage purposes. It's more just so you can get to that. Uh, you can get that extra little tankiness when you decide to go and dive the backline.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Not as bursty as electrocute, but at that point you're not really going for burst. You're more going for carry, and if you're building damage anyway, it's not going to matter what you take as your keystone because you're going to be doing that damage, especially if you build lethality.
We are seeing an invade here. BC does look to be set up to just walk away from this one. Yeah, they just dropped the word. 5T, not really much they can do here. They took a very standard path for invading them, and we've all seen this one. Solo Q just run it right through that bot river bush. BC, though, they do have good communication here. They saw that. Aurelion Sol is able to move up over here. Watch for the roams here. Do see Shen's going back up top there. I mean, pretty much should have known that to begin with. I'm surprised he didn't actually try and drop a ward to make sure they didn't try and rotate for blue buff instead and maybe do a different jungle path. But that's not happening, unfortunately. Pretty standard setup here. Jungle's bot lane starting up there, mid lane, and top lane, top lane.
Indeed. Sounds like very exciting action if we could ever load it and see it.
Oh, that's unfortunate. I'm sorry to hear that, buddy. It's okay. I can tell you one thing, not really much is going on right now, other than the standard leashes. Aurelion Sol is just shoving out the wave here. Kind of what we all expected to see.
I mean, yeah, he can shove out that way, but look at that mana drain. He's already down to half mana, and we just started the game.
Yes, I mean, it hurts, but he does have Corrupting Potion to get that mana back, and this is what he does best. Now, if he did actually take TP, I mean, yeah, Ignite hurts, and you do see Syndra is half health. She's going to have probably be forced to use her pot already. So maybe if he can do something again, he can actually get a kill. But this is also where TP would come in handy. He just keeps pushing it out. Unfortunately, misses that stun. But look at this free poke. This is exactly what I was talking about.
Yeah, but like I said, let's look at that mana. He has basically no mana left, and while Syndra is taking poke, the only reason that she's so low health to begin with is because of the fact that she just tanked those minions in the first wave.
Good point. One thing we do see though, because of this new patch, is Sejuani went straight from blue buff to Scuttle. Uh-oh. Looks like Jarvan's gonna be calling out in
Ooh,
the jungle here.
spicy.
Forced to use his flash, just straight following with the stars. He should be dead. He went for an auto instead. Unfortunate mistake. Possibly caught out by Syndra here. Syndra doesn't have stun though, so he should just be able to walk out of this. Forced his flash though. I would call it worth it.
Is Jarvan going to continue aggroing that Gromp? What a
Especially because
madman.
Sejuani can move over here now and secure the Scuttle Crab, putting Jarvan extremely behind in the jungle.
Not only that, but Aurelion Sol did manage to steal the blue buff.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
Jarvan continued doing the buff even though he knew that somebody was around the wall. And, I mean, he didn't know who it was, so the fact that it could have been Sejuani and decided to do it anyway is just, that's a very questionable decision.
Jarvan is in a terrible position now due to that mistake. Forced to go down to Krugs, probably up to Raptors or something. He is not looking too good. He's going to be behind on XP and gold for a while.
And luckily he did take his wolves because otherwise he wouldn't even get level 3 off of those camps.
I mean, Pesto's whole jungle is basically up. He only took blue buff into Scuttle, and now he got that other Scuttle. So he's got a lot of stuff to farm. I mean, look at the farm difference mid 2. One cool thing about Aurelion Sol we didn't even talk about is just shoving that wave in the tower and denying that mid lane farm. We can already see a mid lane farm advantage going up here as Aurelion Sol is coming back. Bot lane's pretty even. Top lane, pretty even. Pretty low numbers, to be honest. 14 at 4 minutes. Kind of depressing, won't lie. But
Yeah, it's not what you always want to see, or having Aurelion Sol with the blue buff.
it's really not. Well, Aurelion Sol's, he's doing alright. He's definitely got the most from the game. And yeah, this blue buff now really helps him. We talked about his mana drain earlier, but now it's free. He's looking to get janked upon. Ganked upon by the Jarvan. Unfortunately,
First
he gets
blood.
knocked up. He ignites the Syndra for basically no reason. Gets slowed, and it just goes down. Oh, one could say that was quite janky. Punning myself.
It was good of Jarvan to recognize the position that the Aurelion Sol kept putting himself into. Shoving that wave out is nice, but, you know, it's not always what you want to be doing. Especially not in the position that he was in. He was standing right next to the Raptor pit, and that's just so easy for Jarvan to EQ over.
I'm a little bit baffled right now. We did see a unfortunate flash come out from the Tristana there. It looked like she kind of panicked when the Rakan went to jump on him and used his jump, but then immediately used her flash and didn't really accomplish anything. She lived, but she did burn both her sums. They pushed in the wave here. They're probably just going to go for a back now, maybe get some vision instead, or none of the two. Syndra used her TP mid to catch this wave. Aurelion Sol looking for that roam bot that I was talking about. Unfortunately, it's coming a bit later than I expected it to, but it's still coming out nonetheless. Root should be able to come out here on Braum. Knockup does miss. No Root, probably. Just straight running away. Damage coming in here. Ignites on Braum. He's ticking down. He's got the shield.
Oh!
And he's dead. Man down.
Unlucky. He almost survived that. Had he gotten the Guardian, then immediately ran away, he would have been able to live. But he kept walking forward because he wanted to get the little bit of extra damage on the soul. Definitely not worth it.
You know, one thing that I think was a bit of a miscommunication is that the Tristana didn't walk back to try and help that Braum escape. Just kind of forced the Braum to keep walking and praying for the best. So, bit of a miscommunication on the side of BC. Definitely could have worked that out better, and I think Braum could have lived. Also, I think the roam was definitely good. It was well played, well timed too. I think the pathing could have been a little bit better. I think he could have E'd maybe a little bit differently. I don't know. I'm not really a Soul person. He could have gone through the top side of the jungle near their red and come down that way. Because instead he got seen by the vision ward that was in Tribush. So, could have been a little bit more sneaky. Although, to be fair, Team BC's bot lane did heavily give away that gank. Just kind of ran it into them. If we take a look back at the jungle, though, we do see... Oh, never mind. We tried to get a roam here on the top lane when Gangplank wasn't there. I really don't know what was going on with that one. There was something going on with that one. I mean, tell me what you think.
Well,
I can't really tell you what they're trying to do.
I did see Aurelion Sol coming up, but I wasn't really sure what he was thinking of doing because the minion wave was very obviously pushing in, and there's not like any farm to be had. But at the same time, he couldn't really do anything mid lane, so it was kind of pointless.
Damage. Just kind of walked up into Syndra. Syndra used her ult, got some good damage off. It works. Kind of forces Aurelion still out of lane until he can regen here.
Well, not necessarily. It was kind of silly of Syndra to use her ult when she obviously could not get the kill, but maybe she was hoping Braum would be a little bit more helpful in the engage there.
Well, there wasn't really much Braum could do. He just had a bit of an awkward angle there. Couldn't really
Right.
path better to get to there because the wave was kind of in the tower. Now they're
Tristana,
sitting around Dragon here. We could be seeing an actual Dragon fight coming out. That'll be good. Good times. Over Cloud Drake though, so I'm not sure if that's even worth taking a risk.
in my opinion, I know it's not shared by all, but in my opinion, any drag is worth a fight.
You know, I
Now,
agree
while
to
maybe
an
not be
extent, but if it's a losing fight and it's a Cloud Drake, I'd recommend just straight barreling it. Don't go for that 1v4
well,
hype
we
play.
do have the Shen with his ulti up, and he is level 7. He's about a little bit over half health, so theoretically they would be able to, at least the side of 5T would be able to win that Drake, but there's a lot of superior vision control on the side of BC around it, so not going to be the best play in the world. They're going to know exactly when BC wants to do it.
I'm not even sure Shen would be able to comfortably TP here. I mean, Gangplank's really just shoving him in, poking him out right now. And if he TP's in, he's going to have like a quarter health. And that's even considering Gangplank doesn't do more damage to him. I mean, just look at that free poke he gets right there. Yeah, he could just be going down right here. Just flies away with the taunt. The Gangplank ult was used a little bit early there. Could have been saved.
Right, and
The
we
job
just
was
see
done
we
well.
just see Shen staying for the farm because he knows he can TP back, and Gangplank's not the best at stalling the wave, so would not be surprised.
Neither would I. One thing we did see though that we didn't really talk about is BC's scuttle control. While they were going around on the whole bot thing. Oh, never mind. Jumping onto the Xayah here, looking for the stun. Probably going to get it. Jarvan, free EQ coming in. Xayah definitely could be going down here. Uses her Feather Storm. Lots of feathers going down here. Shen ult forced to use. Nothing really happens here. All of 5T gets extremely low. Unlucky ducky.
Well, we do see the sums down and the ult down on the side of Xayah, and we do see the ignite off from Lurkon. So next time they come bot lane, they know it's going to be a pretty free kill.
Yeah, she's really.
However,
she's
this
running
drag play
everything
is
here.
a little questionable considering how low
Aggressive
everyone
there.
is.
I mean, just look at that. Just Sejuani easily able to jump on there. I don't think the flash was necessary. Really in Soul Roam coming out there. Amazing snipe with the ultimate. Gets him down with the ignite. Looking to turn around the Braum here. Braum is just going to walk out of that one though. Good turn by BC. Able to get over there and turn that around for the best. Well played by the Xayah though in that fight.
Once again, though, it's just the superior vision control that ends up controlling the game.
It really is. Wards are important, my friends. Never forget this.
Not only getting the wards down like BC did, but also denying enemy vision, because then it forces them to walk into uncomfortable spots and potentially dangerous spots in order to get that vision, even if they get it at all. And if they don't get it, then it's just so easy to take objectives.
I agree with you completely. Having vision control over those objectives and being able to get that before it happens is a massive advantage. So snowballing these leads and getting those visions like they have been able to do, with the Saruian Soul roaming and Balin having that easy wave clear pressure, has definitely helped them out here. Rakan actually just took his first back of the game. He's getting an Aether Wisp here. Now,
Looking like an ardent sensor.
Looking like an ardent sensor. Doesn't that build into Shurelya's nowadays? Could
It
be
builds into
Shurelya's.
both.
Builds into both. Hey,
But
maybe he's
a little
Shurelya's
art.
boy.
Well, both are good items in Rakan, but I would expect an early item to be an ardent because it synergizes super well with Xayah.
It does. It definitely does. I'll agree with you there. I just haven't seen an early ardent in forever. Oh man, season 7, good old days.
Back when Janna and Lulu were the meta. Oh man.
Can you imagine being a Zed main back then? I'm sorry for them.
I'm
There
sorry
are
for
Zed
them
mains.
now.
Yeah, no, alright, Zed's okay now. He's okay. I mean, he could be worse. He's got some good items going for him. Oh, didn't come out on the top lane. Jarvan level 6 here, probably just going to EQ and try and ult on his Gangplank. Slowing him, gets taunted up. Ult's about to come out here. Oh, good flash by Gangplank. I'm surprised we didn't see an ultimate by Jarvan there. Did he not have it? No, he had it. Just no ultimate came out. If he
Well,
did
he's
use his
also-
ult right after the taunt, that would have actually, like, I'm not sure the wording for this, but it messes up their flash and kind of pulls them back in. I don't know
No,
the
that
technical term,
not
but
necessarily. No, it just really depends on the timing because I've seen a lot of. I've personally done this myself, but I've also seen where uh,
this is what you do. This is the
just
problem with having
just kill
no
happening in mid
vision.
lane. But I've also seen the flash happening where you can actually flash out of as well before he even spawns it, and
Yeah, it then does no damage, but I've also been pulled back. It's a little bit awkward. Oh, that hurt to saw. That hurt to see. That hurt to see.
we
Just
do
walking
see
up and
a.
smiting it.
It's interesting though because Jarvan is building Cinderhulk, but choosing to go challenging smite, which is kind of an oxymoron because you're building tank, but then your smite indicates that you're building duelist, so not exactly the greatest idea. But then again, this is Rampage, so
Maybe he's looking to fight the Zaya and just wants to be tanky too? Yeah, we'll call it that. One thing we can't talk
honestly,
about
not
though is
super
that
worth it.
it's not. One thing I do want to talk about is that mid lane fight. That Syndra was pushed up, standing right up next to that wall with no vision in the river. Just absolutely none. I didn't see if she had a ward, but she just shouldn't have been pushed up that far, especially knowing that Sejuani could be around that side. Team BC here is looking to do another cheeky little bot lane dive. Orion still sitting in a good position. Jarvan is here for the counter gank. Syndra pops the vision plant. Should have vision on them now. I don't think anything's going to happen here.
Well, once again, we do have the Shen ulti up. Now, he is getting pretty low, but, you know, we just have to wait and see what happens. It looks like they're all defusing now.
At this point, is it worth it though? Because I mean, if BC is able to just back out the fight, Gangplank gets his top turret and they get first turret gold for free.
Well, Shen
Um,
does have his TP backup, so maybe not necessarily free unless Shen ends up dying.
well,
But
the fight's going to last about 10 to 20 seconds. So by that time, Gangplank should be able to easily push down the tower and get that turret. I mean, heck, he might even get it now. The Shen's actually backing right now. He's going to be forced to TP, so unless they
he
just
needs
want to
TP
give up
now
that
if he wants
first
to save the
turret.
turret.
Yeah,
There it is.
there it comes out. No TP. Could be seeing an actual catch out here on Jarvan. EQ's away. No turnaround on Syndra. Just a little scuffle.
Yeah, with Syndra, in case you weren't aware, you really do need a lot of orbs down on the ground in order for your ult to deal maximum damage, and you don't really get that until you get a lot of cooldown reduction. So it's going to be difficult for her to get enough orbs on the ground to be able to really maximize that ult damage. Otherwise, you just have to use it as an execution.
One thing we can start seeing though is the gold advantage really coming out from BC here. They got the farm advantages in every single lane, and they have objective control. I mean, I've seen that. I'm not even sure if Team 5T has actually gotten a scuttle yet. I don't think they have.
And those scuttles really do add up over time, I'll tell you.
They really do. They could be looking for a pick here, but I don't think anyone's in range. Just gonna be a simple little walk away. Good old time here.
Bot tower looking to be going down if Zaya and Rakan end up staying. Especially with that, with the, I'm sorry.
okay,
the deadly plumage coming out from Zaya. Should she choose to use that on the turret, that's going to be a lot of insane damage, but it seems like they're just kind of back.
A
Which,
little bit of a duel here. I'm not sure if Aurelion Sol wants to take this. He just got stunned. Forced to use his flash. Good flash by him, though.
Syndra, that boosted flash. She might end up dying for it.
Nah, she's gonna live. Just barely. Just barely lives that.
The boosted flashes, man. Oh, you gotta love those. Flashes forward into the wall. It's gotta hurt.
It really does. It really does. That was real awkward for Aurelion Sol there. For a second, though, he got stunned up. And just, his cosmic, what is it called? Is it called Cosmic Radiance? His, circle? I don't want to call it circle.
Celestial
Stars.
expansion?
Celestial expansion. His celestial expansion was oh my gosh, what's the word? His celestial expansion was we'll call it decreased. I know it's not the word, but it was decreased, and he couldn't get in range of Syndra, and just kind of forced to stand there while his ignite was ticking on her. Bit awkward there. Luckily, he did just run away. Managed to flash over the launch
if
to
Syndra
Syndra.
did have ignite in that fight, that would have gone so much differently.
Oh,
But
yes, it would have.
personally, I think the teleport is actually really questionable on a champion like Syndra. You don't really need it. And
No,
while
you really don't, especially I mean,
my thought on that is that she probably used teleport to be able to get back to lane against somebody who can push as hard as Aurelion Sol. which makes sense, but it's also not really worth it because you either need, in my opinion at least, you either need Ignite or Barrier. Heal could work fine as well, but
They try and go for the pick. Sejuani forced to use her flash there. Gangplank goal coming out of nowhere, just coming out of left field here. Uh-oh.
and we got a question mark ping coming out from Shen, I believe.
TP coming out from the Gangplank. This is the first time we're going to see the top laners in action here. Looks like Team BC really wants to secure this dragon.
Shen needs to use that ult.
Brahm's on a terrible side here. He's coming over for the flank, maybe with the ult. Jarvan jumping in, using the Cataclysm. Braum got a good flank with the knockups. Xayah forced to use her Feather Dance. They're all low on the side of 5T, but they have so much CC, they're just going to completely stomp this fight.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
And we were criticizing 5T's lack of damage, but apparently damage doesn't matter when you can CC lock the damage carries.
I mean, at first I was really questioning that Braum flank, but it actually just screwed over BC.
Yeah, he got the knockoff straight onto the Xayah, and that was the key part of that there.
It wasn't just the Xayah knockoff. I mean, there's that big slow, that big line just right behind their whole team as they were trying to escape.
And look at that, the first scuttle for the side of 5T this game.
140 gold, man. That's half a kill. Oh my lord. I love Scuttle.
Ironically, though, all of those kills went on to Syndra, which is huge because...
Is definitely huge. This Syndra's going to be doing a lot of damage. If she gets anywhere near anyone that's squishy, she'll just ult them and they'll disappear off the face of the earth.
Well, the Xayah pick was, I don't remember who picked first, but Xayah is decently good in the Syndra because of the fact that the Syndra decides to burst her, she can just ult and dodge all the rest of it. But we will see first tower going down here.
Bad man. It looks like 5T really tried to pick that up with Tristan in the bot lane, but Xayah Rakan came there earlier than she expected. Now actually forced to stay, not using any of the gold she just got. They got a little bit greedy there. Xayah playing a bit aggressive, taking a bad trade because she walked in the turret.
Well, you know, she can't play aggressive. Brahm's sitting in mid, still not exactly the best choice when you want to save your turret. Tristana's going to be forced to back off.
Or not, she's stepping up here, autoing the wrong minion, in fact. Honestly, I should just look to dive her here. I mean, I'm not even sure why she stayed. She should have just took the L. At this point, another about 3 minutes, this top lane turret should finally be going down. It only took 20 minutes, but
well, we do see a lot of pressure coming up from Gangplank, but Shen is, I gotta give him props. He's keeping up on that farm. He's not giving it up for free.
He's definitely holding out here. Nice little stun on driving here. I don't think anything's gonna happen. Shen coming out with the taunt.
The
Gangplank
taunt
got a
under
bit
the
greedy.
tower.
Gangplank walking into a bit of an awkward position. But luckily, he does have backup. Ignite
The Ignite coming out, and he must
Shen
be
should
dead.
going down. Jarvan coming in, trying to save his team, but he's just putting himself in a worse position than him. Good Sejuani ult, just be able to smash the Sejuani. Unfortunately, Sejuani pressed R. Man down.
Yeah, that was terrible communication. I mean, you see the Jarvan go in as the Shen is dead. What you should have seen there was when the Shen got into the gangplank and the tower fell, Jarvan was coming up from the side of the jungle, and they should have collapsed onto the gangplank. That fight would have gone very differently. Instead, Jarvan kind of walked around the circle in the tri-bush, and Gangplank got away, and then the collapse happened on the Shen. And then Shen died, and then Jarvan went in. I mean, it's a classic solo queue play.
I mean, one thing I have definitely noticed is that 5T's team play has been a little bit awkward. Oh, Flash Engage coming out from the Braum here. It looks like they definitely want to win this. Jumping into the Rakan knock-up here. Xayah coming out with the Feather Dance, not able to do enough damage. Gets a good root. Shen ult coming out, should be able to save the Tristana. Tristana just... Unfortunate.
We see
Shen ult was definitely very good there.
Stun coming out from the Braum Tristana synergy. She flashes, interestingly enough, into the bush, but then it doesn't even matter because the stun just prevented Xayah from getting that last killing blow.
Feels bad, man, for that Xayah. I know the feeling, man. We can all relate to that. We all play this game. Oh, Gangplank about to get... Oh, no!
Oh! The boost is real.
You know, I don't even think it's that much of a problem. Gangplank is Gangplank. He would have just eaten up his oranges, walked away. But that does feel bad. That definitely feels bad. Wow, that also feels worse. Oh my god, my ankles. I think they just blow off.
That lethality.
Oh,
that'll
hurts.
sting a little bit.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought Steric's Gauge was the build. I've changed. My mind is differed.
Steric's Gauge is really good synergy with Triforce, but its lethality, it applies with your barrels, and it applies with your Q, and your Q applies with your barrels, and then it's just stacks upon stacks of lethality, and then In my opinion, I like it better because it's more one shot. But Steric's Gauge is more good for the. I'm gonna constantly run around and barrel you and shoot you in the
Yeah,
face,
I
and you'll
think
never be able to
Steris is
kill me.
good at like fighting people, but lethality is just good for that big barrel, that big one shot.
Right. And with the reason it's not so popular is because of the fact that your barrels are easily played around at times. You know, people just hit them once at the right time and they're useless. But I mean, if you get the sneaky barrel out,
Ooh, Flash Engage coming out with the Q here. I didn't even realize that was a thing that was possible. Really, Soul just walking into the enemy team. That is some very awkward positioning. Forced to run away here. Gangplank coming out used to slow them, back them off. Rift Herald dropped in the jungle, just gonna be walking down mid, trying to get this this mid turret. And they should be able to
it's
get it
something you
unless
gotta be
Gangplank
careful
can
when
just
you
wait
take
there.
Rift Herald. You need to make sure that you set up a play to where you don't have to awkwardly drop it like that. Because I mean, they did get the turret, so it wasn't that bad. But you never want to have to panic drop it because it's running out of it's
Uh,
expiring.
you wanna know what you have to be careful about? Walking into the enemy team is Aurelion Soul. That's a problem. The
Right,
flash
and
stun engage was very it was aggressive. I'm not gonna say it was bad. It was aggressive. They definitely could have done something like with it. But
it's just
with
a lack of
Aurelion Soul,
communication, honestly.
I'm not even gonna say that with Aurelion Soul. You want to peel kind of back and like do that consistent damage. What he was going to do is he was gonna go in the middle of them to try and get that rotating star damage on everyone. But that doesn't work like that. Like, if you think about it just like that, okay, cool, yeah, I get a lot of damage. But what you're not thinking about is the fact that you're about to get stunned up and just murdered.
Ooh, the
That is
Sejuani ult
unfortunate.
misses.
Just barely misses. Coming out here trying to get the slow on the stun, on the drive-in. Braum instead getting knocked up. Shen ult actually coming on the Braum. We're kind of just getting one shot from
Oh,
the
nice
Syndra
turnaround.
ultimate. Definitely nice turnaround there. Good peel back.
Yeah, the Jarvan EQ'd right through the Rakan W, that was stellar. That was exactly why he lived. And I mean, Braum lived because of the Shen ult. Like this Shen has been on point with his ults. He may not be super proactive with them, but he definitely does it when it needs to be done.
Definitely does. I think there
Saved a
was
lot of
probably
lives
some
there.
good communication there. Probably screamed something along the lines of "Oh, oh, oh," and then it happens. I mean, we've all been there. I've been there. Possibly. No pick there. Unfortunate. One thing we did see get used there is Gangplank's flash. I don't think it was really necessary. He was getting beat up by Tristana, but was in no range of dying, really. So,
I
wasted
know.
flash. Feels bad,
This is
man.
bronze. Panic flashes are definitely the norm more than controlled flashes.
I wouldn't even say it's bronze. You know what? I'm plat 2, and when I see a big boy come up on me, I flash away. I mean, I see that Malphite walking up towards me. No, no, no. I'm gone.
Well, flashes really should be used more along the lines to either dodge, killing damage or dodge CC. It's not really used as just like I'm gonna get a little bit farther away from you.
Yeah, I agree with you. They are setting up here for that 5v5. Zaya in an awkward position. 5T definitely coming out with a good engage here, knowing that Zaya's in a bad position. They can't even do anything. 5T just absolutely murdering them. But are they really? Gameplank's actually still alive, and so is Aurelion Soul. The only person they were able to kill was the tank. Tristana's in a bad position. They're all low on the side of 5T, but they are outnumbered.
Yeah, see, that fight was interesting because of the fact that Zaya was coming around from bot side along the right of the fight, and Braum just like stood right in front of her, blocked all of her feathers coming out, and just like completely denied any of her access to the fight. It was perfect.
That was definitely just really awkward positioning on the Zaya's part. Instead of walking where her whole team went, she walked to the side and forced her team into a bad position and herself into a bad position. So 5T definitely did a good job of noticing that and engaging on the enemies right then and there. They also did a good job of peeling back when they knew that fight was lost. Because if they didn't, Zaya definitely would have been able to actually clean that up. So
And interestingly enough, we do see more kills on the side of 5T. I'm sorry, but the gold difference is
insane because
it's like about 2,000 gold.
the Scuttle control is definitely much bigger early, and they have so much more objectives and more farm than the side of 5T. I mean, just look at the farm difference. Just about a 50 farm difference in mid lane.
Well, objective control is not really the case because now with the two dragons, the flash.
Unfortunate. W doesn't exist.
Indeed.
We don't
But
talk
we
about
do
that.
see the two drags coming out, so it's not even objectives really. And yeah, scuttles do give you a lot of gold, but there haven't been enough of them to spawn this game to equal a 2,000 gold difference. I really think it's just
I would say Scuttle so far has given about a 700k gold lead. Whoa,
And right, but like
700
you have
gold
to
lead.
equalize it out because the kill. Oh my god,
I'm sorry it had to be
completely
like
one
that,
shot.
Sahya. I'm just sorry. I mean, I'm pretty sure you could have gotten your ult off before you died there.
Wasn't even worth it though.
She had heal and flash. I think eh, it could have been
We
worth it.
see
I think it could have
like
been worth it.
there's a 3K goal difference, and we
Oh,
see
the
a
taunt just
kill.
missing. Aurelia's still just walking around. Manages to stun the Tristana, hit her with the ult, but not able to finish her due to a good channel. Tristana just being able to be aggressive and flash and jump in. Fortunately, not quite in range. Jarvan coming with the flash
Oh,
cataclysm, finishing him off, doing that good old tank damage here. We see some more aggression going on in the mid lane with Sejuani and Jarvan. They are confident, looking for this fight, even though they shouldn't be. Gangplank uses his orange a bit early. Jarvan able to dive in and get the bronze stun on him. He is going down, man down. Unlucky. Unlucky
wow,
ducky.
that was. You saw Aurelion Soul activate his E right as Jarvan cataclysmed on top of him, and it was just like a nope.
That was a good flash by Jarvan, though. He recognized, I need to get this man now, and just flashed and ulted him instead of waiting for his EQ to come back up. Now,
Indeed, indeed.
they're not looking to rotate towards any objectives here. It looks like they're literally just looking to walk away and back. I mean, I understand the respawn timers aren't exactly the longest on the side of BC yet, but
And
still,
realistically speaking, I mean, there is Baron up, but you do have Zyra Khan and Sejuani, and that's really all you need to actively contest a Baron nowadays, considering the Baron's so much tankier, has a lot more AoE damage. It's just
yeah, so it's not a
not
bad idea
something
to
you
go
can
ahead and
do
reset.
quickly, really, anymore. You really need like a good Baron shredder, such as like a Kog'Maw, Varus, a Kaisa. You know, you really need that high max health kind of damage, otherwise you can't do Barons very fast.
It's an aggressive ult right there. He's confident, but he definitely missed that Q there. Didn't quite line it up correctly. Maybe could have continued to chase it. I would say he forced her out of lane, but she was already going to back anyway. One thing that 5T really needs to start working on, though, is their wave control and like where their waves are. Now, what's pushing, what's not pushing, split pushing, and kind of like reacting to that. One thing I've noticed is that waves are just kind of like crashing and they're nowhere near them or just not splitting at the right times or anything like that, really. I mean, there's been like no split pushes these games. I mean, look at this.
Yeah,
BC
I
just
was about
sees
to
that
say
wave
like
coming
splitting
up.
is non-existent anyway.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, wave control is always is no matter what elo or team you are, you need to work on your wave control, and it's a matter of playing in a competitive environment with a team because you can start setting up more complex plays when you know what your team is thinking rather than like if you play like a solo queue game where you just control your wave and everyone controls their own waves and it's not coordinated.
But I mean, yeah, look at what we're just talking about there with wave control and coordination. I mean, BC just walked down and got a free turret because 5T was just kind of walking around like, oh god, what do we do? Thinking too much on what they're going to do next and not reacting to what's happening now. I mean, I think they were trying to like maybe figure out how they were going to get Baron, while BC just said, screw this, let's just go get bot turret.
Interestingly enough, we do see Sejuani building, building tank, but building support, which is
Zeke's
not something you would
convergence,
usually see.
I don't remember Zeke's convergence being that great of an item for junglers. I understand Locket and Knight's Vow, but never Zeke's convergence. That never really
Well,
occurred to me.
it makes logical sense if you put it on like Xayah or Gangplank, but it's you don't. Sejuani, I feel like could benefit a lot more from building more straight tank rather than like support.
It's aggressive here, but I don't think anything can happen. They're too far away from each other. Cedric gets a nice, neat little stun here. Aggressive Sejuani and aggressive Rakan. They're still messing with each other. They should just be able to backpedal out of this one, though. Shen is actually pushing that turret into mid. Gonna be walking back down.
And Shen can do that. He does have his ult, so he can split push all day, and then when a fight does start, he goes right into it.
Yeah, the waves are definitely not on the side of BC right now. I gotta go and clear that shit, push it back in, and then go back to Baron. 5T can start setting up vision around Baron now, because they have those waves. Maybe try and do something, look for a pick. I don't know if we're gonna start Baron. See, there's that pick that I'm talking about, though. Good Sandra E coming out. Jarvan able to fly right back in there. Tried to save him with the Sejuani ult, but as soon as he gets hit by a stun, he's gone. And they're turning right to Baron. BC has no vision on this, too.
Good ward clearing. This is exactly what you need to do. You need to make them face check you when you want to go for an objective, otherwise they play it too safe.
Playing the objective, the explosive plan was really smart there, too. making sure the jungler can't just hop in. Sejuani should probably go look for a steal here. Coming in very early. They should just be able to burst down Sejuani. Doesn't actually burst down Sejuani. The Baron got to 23 health there, though. Extremely scary stuff. Stopwatch
Indeed.
comes out, I guess.
Jarvan, it's interesting to know that Jarvan didn't even use his smite.
I'm sorry to hear that.
So Sejuani had the chance and completely whiffed it.
You know, it happens.
She did,
Pressure
and
got to the head.
she did use her smite that fight because she had 2 charges of it up, and she did use 1 charge when she went into the pit, but she just miscalculated the damage and unfortunately fell for nothing.
You know what else is interesting? BC still has the gold lead.
Yeah, see, that's what I was saying earlier. It doesn't matter how much farm you have because the kills would make a difference, but I guess not because
No, sir.
BC does have almost 100.
I hate to interrupt you here, but we do have a big fight going on here. Rakan jumping around in here. Braum had a good ult. Able to absolutely murder them with the Aurelion Soul. Zai should be able to free clean this up. Not actually walking forward on them there. Unfortunate. Could have attacked me on there. Got a bit distracted. I was listening to you. I didn't even notice that big fight was about to happen.
Yeah, that's why I shut up. But it's like it has to be just a CS at this point because
Oh, what are you doing, buddy? I'm sorry. You're being too aggressive. Nice flash coming out from Shen there. Definitely a good catch. But that was way too aggressive. You had less than 25% of your HP left, just walking into mid lane like it's nothing. That's just being careless.
And we were talking about Tristana being the main damage source, but I disagree. I think Syndra is hard carrying this game along with the Jarvan.
I think
And
Tristana's
that, I
definitely doing
don't.
her job. She's
Let me
definitely doing her job.
rephrase that. I don't even think it's the Jarvan. I think it's the Shen. Shen has been making exactly the plays he needs to make, exactly the ults when he needs to make them. Now, like I said, maybe not the most proactive making plays, but he's using it. He's making sure that it's on cooldown as much as possible, and that's how you play Shen.
Shen has definitely surprised me. He most people crumble in that kind of matchup. They just get upset and they start doing dumb things because they're just getting bullied out for like 20 minutes and it's really depressing. There's not much you can do, but he held on. He never really like stuttered, if you will, like in his gameplay, and
Right.
kept playing smart, kept doing the good ultimates, kept going where he needed to be at the time, and now he's really starting to show it.
And honestly, a GP versus the Shen lane, it's really just a skill matchup because you do have that periodic shield you can get. You do have the ability that blocks autos. So if you just play it smart, you go up for minions when you have your abilities up, and GP can try both as much as he wants, but all in all, it's going to take him forever to whittle you down. And by the time that you're in
Wait,
between
hold on.
your
Can we talk about Aurelion Soul's positioning here? My guy
Very
walked up
questionable.
extremely far here. Shen just kind of standing behind him, in fact. They're all sort of awkward. BC's going to try and save them here, even though Gangplank's bot can't do anything. He's actually TPing in. This is extremely desperate. Nice Aurelion Soul, able to kill them off. Rakan's being impatient, though. Didn't go in here. In fact, actually just walks away there. They need to go on in this now. Sejuani is actually flying in now. Bromholt's coming in to peel. Good Rakan knockup. No Rakan ultimate coming out yet. Good Xayah Featherstorm able to finish off the Tristana here. Tristana has no damage. Syndra's extremely low. They can finish off the Syndra here. They just win this. BC definitely has a lot more damage. 5T should just have to run away from this. Surprisingly, saving Private Ryan worked. It worked.
Yeah, it was just really unfortunate on the side of not XT. It's really unfortunate on the side of 5T that they weren't able to get the soul because that was just a long chase for nothing.
That really was. I'm surprised 5T wasn't able to actually do that. If they weren't able to kill the Iron Soul, they should have been able to turn that better. I'm not really sure
and the
how
whole
that
fight,
went
honestly,
terribly.
whole fight was just hurt to watch. It's a classic Plastic 5 team fight. I mean, your whole team is chasing one person, and then the whole enemy team comes up behind you and kicks your butt, and then you have nothing to show for it.
That's bad, man. Luckily, they're able to get this inhibitor here. Pretty nice, pretty nice. They got that wave pressure in top lane. Baron is not up. I believe. Is Elder Dragon spawning soon? Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't. Is it? Yes, it is. I promise you it is. 100%. Money back guarantee.
Oh yeah, how soon? Let's take that bet.
I would be lying if I said I knew how to look. It's been a minute.
See, you said
Bear
you
with me.
guaranteed it. You guaranteed it. You gotta give us time now.
Money back guarantee? Or hold on. Is it? Uh-oh. Oh, no.
Uh-oh.
There it is. 1 minute and 50 seconds, boys. I don't know how it showed up, but it did.
That's not soon. I want my money back.
Oh my gosh, it's soon enough. All right, it's 2 minutes soon. Can it be
No,
considered
not
soon?
in a game of League of Legends,
Eh,
where a game could be over in 10 of those
good point.
or less nowadays. Actually,
Well, besides soon, you want to know another thing that's interesting? Baron's coming up right then too. Yeah. So do we want Elder or do we want
it's
Baron?
always interesting when you have Dragon and Baron coming up at the same time because I've seen quite a few games that are thrown just because the leading team decides to go for the Dragon and then the other team goes for the Baron, and I can't tell you how many times that's happened.
Oh,
It's
I can
it's the
give you
most
the
frustrating
results of
thing to witness.
my last week, my dominant match. I'm not gonna talk about this too long, but since we're on the topic, we were on our second Elder Dragon in our second game, and we went for the fight over there, but one of our teammates died and we backpedaled out of it. So instead of going for Baron, we just gave them Elder Drag and managed to shove mid and just win the game like that. Like in the time it took them to finish Elder Dragon, we actually shoved mid and ended the game. So you still gotta be careful. You can't just lead them up, which is kind of an interesting thing to note when it's like
Moral of the
55
story,
minutes in the
boys:
game.
even in gold and platinum, you're still bronze.
Oh yes sir, yes sir. Gosh, playing support there is so fun. I promise. Guys, never be support mains.
Well, we do see supports being the playmakers here, except for I'm
Except for
sorry,
Rakai.
Psycho Banana, but I mean, looking at your
Yeah,
score, like, what have you done this game?
no, Psycho Banana, he's not aggressive, it feels like. I mean, he just, yeah, that's exactly what I'm gonna say. He's not aggressive. When that whole thing was happening in top lane, all five of them were standing right on top of each other. That was a free five-man knockup. Could have just flew in with the knockup and the charm. Just gotten that sweet, sweet, juicy play. But he didn't. I mean, he still won it. He still did his job. I just think could have done it
We see
better.
a lot of the team of BC. They have like kind
Decent
of
trade though.
more individualized scores. I mean, not a lot of them have kills or assists. Yet their team still has 12 kills. But on the side of 5T, I mean, we see a lot of people with
Let me talk
a
about
whole
this for
bunch
a
of
second.
assists.
This
You know?
Tristana getting absolutely melted, just absolutely sniped by the Aurelion Soul. Gets hit by the Bromwell, actually manages to live. Syndrome came out onto the Aurelion Soul. Baron's actually not down yet. Well, 5T manages to scare it. This game actually should just be over right here, though. Saya Quadra kill coming out. Not even sure when and where she did that much damage, but she did. I promise you.
And that should be game with 40-second respawn timers and inhib down. There's no reason for them not to push an end.
That was well played by them, though. They had the trade. They went for the Elder. And it took them so long to finish Baron, they were able to get that Ruined Soul in, do that damage, and get that game win
You just
off.
have to have the communication. You have to either say, let's do the Baron or let's turn. You can't have people doing both because that doesn't work.
That is exactly what they did there. It looks like they went for the turn on Aurelion Soul, but didn't really communicate with everyone. So it was kind of awkward. It was kind of
It's
awkward.
classic solo queue. You need to have good communication. This is not solo queue.
Yeah, that's
This
the
is
problem.
a
Is this is not
5v5.
solo queue, so you should be able to turn around and stop that from happening. But the game is over. It does go to the side of BC. Congratulations on your first game of the series, of the best of three.
Well played.
Yay. Well played. Well played. I'll respect that. Alrighty. We're gonna go on a short break here. I will come back to you guys in about 5 minutes.
Laters. Thinking on to what I saw that game, I would not be surprised if there's an Aurelion Soul ban, honestly. Looks like so far they're sticking with the same bans. It's probably targeted for a reason, so the Zaya ban. Yes, exactly. I was hoping at least something would change, and that's a pretty key component if I do say so myself.
I agree with you definitely there. Nah, Zaya definitely is a good band because it completely cancels out the Rakan for coming out. But what instead we do see is Morgana, the meta support. Gotta love that. Which he did, or they did ban Morgana last game, but I think they're learning from their mistakes. Not even, I don't want to say learning from their mistakes, but I guess chose Zaya to be more important of a ban than Morgana. To be honest, I would rather get rid of the Garen, but it's their choice. I guess Garen is too much of a power pick for them. Tom Kench is pretty safe going into Morgana here. Just eat him away from the root. Good old
Indeed.
times. Good old times. I like that.
You're just going to have a lot of damage on your team. Again, 5T picking up that Jarvan. I wouldn't be surprised if I saw a full tank, but, you know, it didn't really work that well for them last time. He was able to get some pretty sweet engages, but, it was just the lacking of the damage in the long run that ended up being the downfall. They couldn't protect their carries enough.
I definitely agree with you there. Yeah, I think if he's going Jarvan, he definitely needs some more damage this time. He's kind of flew in, and that's about it. Look at a little knockup bot. Caitlyn coming out here, the power play, or the power bot lane. They're gonna need a really safe thing. I imagine Ezreal. I can definitely see Ezreal coming out here with Tom Kench. Then it can just
Well,
kind
we
of
do see an
completely.
Ash.
Oh, I thought they picked something else. Oh, my
No,
eyes
that
deceived me.
I could be wrong. I'll check the chat right now, but we do see an Ash. And uh, personally, as an Ash player myself, into a Caitlyn Morgana lane, it's not really one you want to see, but it's not
No.
it's not that bad either. I mean, you do have a lot of early game poke to kind of match Caitlyn a little bit, and you do have the Tom Kench to help you with the Morgana. So
I think you just get outscaled late game. I mean, Ashe definitely does have those good stuns with her ult, but damage-wise, Caitlyn just completely beats her out there. I mean,
I
there's a
I
good
actually
reason
really
why Ashe is
disagree.
weak.
I feel like Caitlyn is a more bursty ADC because she relies a lot on her headshots to be able to do the damage, and if you can't get those, you're kind of useless.
Yeah, but Caitlyn
With
has
Ash, you have that
extreme range compared to Ashe. Like Caitlyn's range is so much longer than Ashe. I don't
right,
think
but
you
the
understand.
with the Ash, you just have the innate CC of every auto attack. That's why you pick her. You don't pick her because of the range. She's a really good utility ADC. And when you
It's
have somebody
definitely
like
fun.
Tom Kench, that's not that bad. Honestly,
Something to
people don't
note.
give Ash enough credit as it is because she's actually a really good hyper carry ADC. You just don't see her very often, so you tend to think she's bad.
I'll agree with you there. I don't think I've seen Ashe in about a couple months, and that's not being what's it called? I don't even know
Negative,
the word.
pessimistic.
Not negative, like yeah, pessimistic is the word. Definitely the
Yeah,
word.
well, like I said, it's you play Ash more about the utility rather than the extreme damage. I mean, you do have the game playing. You do have Malzahar. You don't need like extreme hyper carry damage. What you need is a good ADC, and Ash is can do just that. I would argue, more of a hyper carry than Caitlyn. I know people will disagree on me when I say this, but
I
uh,
definitely do.
Ash she has considerable damage, and it's just in different places.
I would consider Caitlyn more of a hyper carry because she can win lane, come like basically by herself, and then like carry that into scaling into the late game, especially against their comp. As long as she doesn't get Malzahar ulted or jumped on by the Jarvan, she's okay. She's
Well, you say
okay.
that, and Ash is really the same way. She doesn't struggle in lane too often, and even if she does, let's say she does get outlaned, she's utility.
She has the slows. She has the stuns. That's all you need to do. It's like saying I'm playing Scion and I got behind, so we're gonna lose.
We
That's
have
not
like
how that works because you still fulfill your role as opposed to Caitlyn who needs to not get ganked and not get attacked in order to be successful.
we definitely have a different feel when it comes to ADCs. I prefer the big hyper carries compared to utilities. So
And
it's
like Ash is not just like solely utility. She has a lot of damage.
she
But
has
it's
some
like
good output like damage. It's just I'll say this back and forth, up and down. I think Caitlyn is just a better ADC all around right now. I think she fits better into the meta. I think she just stomps the lane right now, and there's no one really competing with her when it comes to that. And I think she just scales harder than Ash does.
well, we can always analyze champions all we want, but in the end it comes down to player skill.
It does. And yes, it comes down to is this person a good Ash player? Is this person a good Caitlyn player? Is this
Are they
person a
good
good
enough to play against?
Malzahar player?
Right?
Please tell me you're a good enough Malzahar player. Please. Please
And
don't
it's
be like
just
me and press R and then E and then you just cancel your ult. I've done that in ranked.
well, I don't know about. See, the Caitlyn is kind of safe, especially with the Morganas. So I don't really think the Malzahar is going to get too many opportunities landed on her. I think he's going to go for the Ari definitely.
Oh,
Uh,
definitely. When the Aura goes into ult for the charm, that Malzahar should just be slapping that old laser beam on her, holding her down. That's kinky. Besides
I
that,
was just about to say that.
besides that, let's not get a little bit too off track here.
We have to keep it
Gangplank,
PG-13 for our
PG,
children viewers.
PG. Let's get Gangplank holding up that fist.
Okay, we're done here.
We're done
We're
here.
done.
But one thing I do want to talk about with Gangplank is 5T actually took away the Gangplank from BC this time, forcing BC onto Ornn instead. I mean, I'm sure they're going to pick probably a different tank here because their team is a little more. Actually, I don't even want to say it's more damage heavy. I mean, they were pretty, not necessarily squishy last game, but pretty squishy compared to what they are now. I think they have a more solid front line with the Ornn also in there. So the Sejuani can ult, and now you get that Ornn ult too, instead of just a Gangplank ult.
Well, reverse that, and it's better.
What do you mean reverse
So you
that?
get you want the Ornn ult to hit them first because it applies the brittle, and then if you get Sejuani ult on top of that, the Sejuani ult the stun lasts longer.
Point. Good point. You think so much about this. I just think the Sejuani sees someone flies at him with the QR and then the Ornn ults. But you know what? If you think that far in advance, good for you, my dude. I'm an ADC player. I just react to what's happening.
That's all you need to do.
That's basically ADC in a nutshell, my guy. I mean,
And the reason I like Ash so much is personally, like I said, I play her. I played a lot of her in season 7, and I played a decent amount in season 8 too. But it's just the kiting is so crazy.
the kiting
Like,
is also just easier on Ash because you get that slow. You can just get that slow, walk back, hit him again, hit him with the old
and
1-2.
they'll never catch you. That's the thing. Like Caitlyn,
I mean, Caitlyn,
you
you do
all you
get the net, and if you hit him with the net, you get the slow and you get the little knockback, so it's
right,
not
but
bad.
that's really it. That's all you got.
Yeah, but you got traps. You hit him with the EW combo. You know what that is, right? You throw the like
yes, but
trap.
that's assuming that people are dumb enough to fall for that. You know.
Okay, but no offense, but this is Rampage. We are at the we're they struggle when it comes to stuff like that. Like when it comes to identifying what combos they're gonna use, they're not the best at, I
Well, let's
guess,
be honest. We see
like being
everybody all the way up
proactive.
until we see everybody all the way up to Masters and Challengers struggling with that. So,
Caitlyn traps, they're they're annoying. You
well,
know.
you had. Wow. Okay. Let's try. Let's try that again.
Mihoi
Uh,
Mihoi.
you know that Caitlyn's going to be putting down traps.
You know it, but
You
like,
know she's going to be putting down traps. So
but your
common
brain
sense
tells
would
you
say
get
not
her.
to walk into the trap,
They're
but
called traps for a reason because you want to get them, so you keep going after them, but then you fall into the trap because it's a trap. But your brain's like, no, get that Caitlyn. Don't turn away. Don't you go to the right. Go get that Caitlyn right now. I want you to jump on her, knock her up, and murder her. But then you just step into the trap, and then you get
well,
shot.
there's always a flash.
Did I find this a metaphor to life? you like go to achieve something, but then you step in the trap. Wow, that's deep.
Traps are gay. That's all I have to say.
They're not though, because like
Okay.
you don't expect it. And it's just
Okay,
like
okay, okay. You know what? PG-13. We're done.
PG-13, PG-13, PG.
We are not having this discussion. We are talking about the fact that RE took Ignite and Malzahar took Teleport, and those are pretty classic summer spells. And we're also talking about the fact that Morgana and Tom Kench both took Exhaust. Not something that
Why? They were talking about how Ignite was better and it out damages heal now and
yeah, yep,
all
I
this, and
was.
then now we're exhaust.
We're regressing in time. We're going
We
back to
are.
season 1.
Woo!
I'm not even sure if Exhaust was a thing in season 1, but we're
I
still
think
going way back.
I think it did, but it did used to do some whack stuff, man. I don't remember all of it. It was that was a special time, man. I remember I played season 1, but I was in 5th grade at the time, and I played under my table and I played Cho'Gath. Those are the old days.
Nom.
I'm not my dude. That's back when I thought levels like transported in between games. So I'd go into the next game being level 18. Fortunately, that's not
Okay.
quite the case.
Well, I wish I could say that we all have that experience, but no, we don't. That was pretty stupid of you.
I was in 5th grade, okay? Come on. I remember when I started to get back into it in my freshman year of high school, I played Lissandra. And I was thinking, okay, I'll build AD because that's like, I want more damage. I didn't realize AP was a thing. So I built like Bloodthirsters and IEs and stuff because those are the big damage items.
Isn't that what you're supposed to
I mean,
do?
it's an alternative build. An
It's
alternative
not
build.
bad, right?
We're not gonna call it bad and we're not gonna trash talk it, but we're not gonna recommend it.
You know, I'm really curious to see what Lissandra's crits look like. Because her basic auto attacks are you
What
like
I've
basically
noticed,
throw a shard of ice at them.
what I've noticed from my experience when it comes to like different champions that aren't usually built crit is if they have a projectile, it's just some sort of bigger version of their projectile. So like hers would probably just be like an ice cube instead of a little shard. And then like if it's a melee champion, they have like a little like kick or like some different way to use their weapon. That's what I've noticed. Trust me, I've experimented with a lot of weird things.
I did not
From
even know
the
that.
one,
This is PG-13.
No. Whoa. You took that way out of context. I'm talking like hybrid Malphite, like.
I've experimented with a lot of things. Says the guy who thinks that traps aren't gay.
But they're not though.
Okay, well,
And if they are, I'm gay as hell.
we are done talking about this.
Yes, we are. PG-13. PG-13.
Nothing out of the ordinary I can see here. Pretty classic spells, pretty classic keystones.
Pretty
Except for
classic
the
Gangplank about to run in there. Oh. Uh-oh. That charm just barely lifts. That's actually quite unfortunate. I'm assuming she just leveled up her charm as the Gangplank was running in. So that's going to lead to a bit of an awkward level 1 lane there. But I guess.
Nope, I wish I did. But once again, stuck on the loading screen.
Oh, well that's unfortunate. I'm sorry to hear that, buddy. You know what you need?
A better computer?
You need
Yeah.
a gaming computer, yeah. Get a better computer, my boy. Just kidding. You, college or something. I don't know, man. Good luck.
Go to college.
Yeah,
Get a
go to
degree.
college, boys. Don't do what I'm doing. I promise it's not good.
Even though I'm going to college, so going to college is not good.
You know what? I'll go to college eventually. One day. Unfortunately, though, and I say this quite unfortunately because it disappoints me every time, standard jungle start. Standard buffs. Both are actually going to top lane. Oh, never mind. Sejuani whipping around here, going for that Scuttle Crab. Looks like Team 5T did not learn from last game whatsoever.
It's not going to spawn for quite some time, though. So she is just wasting her time sitting in the jungle. It just spawned now, but the fact that she had to stay...
It was like 5 seconds. I wouldn't call that bad. Maybe she could have stepped up and gotten some vision up there to see where Jarvan is, maybe.
That would have probably been more the ideal, because now you see that Sejuani's still taking the Scuttle, and Jarvan's already moving on to his red buff.
See, one of the things that could have happened here for like a alternative, not even an alternative jungle path, is you could have been playing someone aggressive with an early level 2 gank like Jarvan or Graves or something like that. Have your mid laner be pushed in, get that Scuttle Crab, then just walk mid. Or even gank mid, then go grab the Scuttle Crab. One or the other. Wow, Jarvan is weak right now. He's really low health. Sejuani just moving up to the next Scuttle, though, really working to deny these. Jarvan hasn't even adjusted the Scuttle's changes yet. He's going straight for that top lane. My man wants some.
Honestly, though, Scuttles really, really are worth the extra trouble. Maybe not straight Scuttle to Scuttle, but they are. It's not something you should be giving away for free like the Jarvan.
Yeah, it may look nice right now, but the thing is, Jarvan's camps are already starting to respawn compared to Sejuani's, so just a bit behind when it comes to that. But for the immediate advantage, yes, it works. Also, stepping up for that Morgana auto for that spell thief, not worth. Just spam your W. Place the pool. Please do it. Do it right here. No.
But see, we have practically the same gold, except for the fact that Sejuani, two of her camps were from Scuttle Crabs. She just took her 2 buffs. The fact that she has the same gold as Jarvan with the same CS, but Scuttles instead of camps means that she basically is going to get more gold because she has camps up and she's still at the same gold.
Good point.
That's insane.
Uh-oh. Looks like the actual Malzahar minions managed to block the charm right there, preventing a lot of damage. But unfortunately, neither of them have mana, so it's honestly probably just going to be an auto attack battle for pushing the waves in there quite a little while. One thing I am not seeing nearly enough in this bot lane is pressure coming out from Caitlyn and Morgana. Morgana, I don't know if she's aiming for the waves with her W or not using them whatsoever, but I don't feel like she's really getting any poke or any money off of her pool.
And hey, man, you were bashing this Ashe pick, but guess who's doing good?
This Ashe pick because it shouldn't work. It just shouldn't. No, you have Caitlyn Morgana. Where's your pressure? Where did it go? Cotton Eye Joe.
It's a skill matchup, honestly. People think just because Caitlyn has the range that automatically gives her an advantage. And while yeah, it's nice that you can auto without being retaliated against, it's difficult to utilize that effectively because bot lane is a 2-people lane. You need your support to be with you when you go in like that.
She should be autoing right there. See, like, there's an auto. Get another one. There you go. Step up in the cut. No, what are you doing? See, I feel like she's not going for them when she's necessary. Like, when this person goes up to auto her. Right there. Could have autoed her right there. Auto. No. Okay, now it's awkward.
And the only reason this Ashe is really getting low is not because of the auto, it's just because she's just taking free minion harass and free, like, Q damage from Caitlyn and W damage from Morgana. Like,
honestly, this is also just really unfortunate for Caitlyn Morgana. That Tom Kench pick, really hurting here. They need to get some more poke on him, too, because otherwise Ashe is just going to get eaten up every time she gets rooted. She's completely safe.
Again, Ashe is standing in that W. Like, there's no, she's walking forward to do that. There's no reason you need to build CLB there. Ooh.
Unfortunately for Caitlyn here, they're about to get ganked. Is Jarvan going to wait to use EQ? No, he uses it right away. Spell shit, able to block the Morgana from getting knocked up.
Alright, we do see the flash from Morgana and the heal from Caitlyn. So, that is something. But the flash forward from Ton's straight faceplant into that Morgana Q was just... Oh, that hurt.
Alright, it's okay. Ashe flash too. She was following in the fun. Flash is burned there.
All in all,
no reason
not
they're actually looking to come back though. They do not have vision of the Tri-Bush. They're gonna get snuck up right on here. Binding actually lands on the Ashe. Jarvan's behind here. He's in an actual very awkward position here. They should actually just be able to turn this on Jarvan. Not really stepping up though. Sejuani's a bit late to the Fiesta.
It's the party.
I would call it more of a fiesta than a party, to be honest.
Ashe is just, the thing with Ashe is that you have to learn how to harass with your autos and not just with your W, because you see Ashe's right now, and that's because she's throwing out her W's just randomly, and you don't want to do that.
It's kind of hard. It's more easy to do in matchups where it's like an even or better range advantage for Ashe.
No, it's really not, because...
But Caitlyn does have that like extreme range advantage. She can stand super far back and just get those casters and melees, and you have to step up super far to get it. And if you step up super far, you're also gonna get hit by the Morgana W's and be in range of a Morgana Q. Like if the Morgana does stand correctly, she can completely negate that Ashe from doing that.
Right, and this is all theoretical though. This is not how it works in the lane because the Ashe theoretically should be using her W to farm, but that's not what she's doing. And theoretically, the Morgana and the Caitlyn should be applying more pressure, but they're not. You know, it's what the Ashe should be doing is not just throwing out her W to harass, because even when you have a lane advantage playing as Ashe, you see a lot of like not so familiar players doing that because they think it's harass, right? They don't realize that Wing people over and over again is not nearly as annoying as you think it is.
You just have to use it sparingly.
Right, because it costs a decent amount of mana. Like I can check right now.
One thing I would use for like where I would spam it is if I have an aggressive level 2 bot like support. Like let's say I had an Alistar support, I try and get as much poke as I can with the W. So my Alistar all-in's level 2, then we have that extra damage and we got him low.
And the
That's
Ashe,
a good time to spam it.
just a little bit of math here. The Ashe W, it's called volley, and at rank 2, 50 mana, right? 12-second cooldown.
Oh, hold up, we're about to get dived right here. Jarvan coming in with the EQ, just barely missing, hits with the barrel, able to slow him here. No ult coming out yet. I don't think any ults are actually going to be used here. Stopwatch coming out from the Orm. Ari's actually coming back here. Sejuani coming in with a good ultimate, able to lock down his Malzahar, able to kill him before he gets his ult off. Jarvan coming in for the chase here. No damage coming out. Good Orn W. Whatever it's called. Soul Furnace, probably. Good flash coming in with the charm. Gangplank able to get away from that one, though. Using his flash as well. Is it called Soul Furnace? Now I'm curious.
Bellows Breath.
Wait, breath?
Bellows Breath.
Bellows Breath. Soul Furnace sounds cooler. Riot, please.
Soul Furnace is not the name of any of his abilities. I'm not sure. I'm not quite sure where you pulled that from.
Cause like, alright, he's a fireman and like soul. Dude, I'm gonna use that for something. Can I copyright that? Ooh. Ultimate coming out here. No Morgana spell shield whatsoever. What is she doing?
And you are flaming the Ashe.
Okay, hold on. No. This Morgana stood there and didn't use her
No.
shield.
You can't sit there
No.
and try to put it on something else. The only reason that play happened the way it did is because she got slowed and then ulted.
The only reason that happened the way it is because this Morgana's brain turned off because she got gangplank ulted.
You can blame it on whatever you want. The point is,
You can use whatever
facts
excuse
are
for
there.
that working, whatever you want. No.
the facts are there. The situation happened. You cannot say that Ashe is not a decently viable pick.
Tell you what. Ashe is decently viable, and bronze and silver. How do you feel now? Yeah. That is.
You're
actually
just
gonna
not.
look
You're
to
just
contest
too
him.
bronze to understand the real.
Hold on,
power.
we got a bit of a fight coming out here. We got the TP coming in from the top lane here. Orange gonna be able to frontline, probably get him off the dragon. It looks like 5T's actually just giving us up. You know, I was super happy for a second. I got into my play-by-play mode, and then nothing happened. Give me a moment here.
I really don't think Godhog should be keeping this Jarvan in his champion pool. I mean, if he does, full tank Jarvan twice in a row, like, if not the first game, then the second game you should know that that's not something you should be picking.
I agree with you completely there.
I mean, like, that was the gank top lane. I mean, granted, no matter what kind of build he's going, it would be the same, but still, it's kind of sad just the lack of damage that you have. And I think a lot of that comes from the fact that you do not have 2 damage trees like you normally would. Because the norm is either you go, domination and precision or domination and sorcery. And that gives you more damage that you need to be able to kill the Ornn. At the very least, kill the Ornn. But going Resolve just gives you extra health. And tank Jarvan, it's super questionable.
Tank Jarvan is not the pick here. You know what is the pick? Apparently it's Caitlyn, because she's getting hit with the Ashe ultimate. Spellbinding actually coming, or Spell Shield coming onto actual Morgana here instead. Able to peel away with the Morgana ult. Lands the Q on Tom Ken. Should be able to peel out here unless Jarvan goes for another EQ. Actually does avoid the trap there. Unfortunate. Didn't just target the Morgana. Just kind of hoping he would.
And like I was saying, it's
No, don't give me this.
Hold on, hold
No,
on.
look at this pick. Hold on, look at what I'm saying right here. This Jarvan is a dead man walking. Oh my lord. Man gone. This is why you don't go for words. Words are dangerous.
See, Fizzy Kizza is not like I said earlier. He's just wasting those W's, and every time that a gank starts to happen, he's like basically out of mana, and it's so pointless. Like, you know at this point that the amount of damage you're getting on your W's is not worth the amount of mana you're spending, but You know, I guess some players never really fully realize that.
You know, it is pointless. Picking Ash. Prove me wrong.
Hey man, I didn't need to. The fact that they got to play just on the two of them in a gangplank goal is telling enough.
You know
With how
what? You know
stable-
what's telling enough? The no Morgana shield. That's telling enough for me. I've seen everything I need to see.
You can blame it on whatever you want, my dude. You can argue this all day. The
I'm
point of
gonna
the
come
matter
back
is
to this the entire game. I
the
can tell
point
you
of the
that.
matter is the reason it happened that way is because it was Ash, not another ADC.
Okay. But what if God said there was a Rakan support, and then he engaged? Could it have happened like that? Instead of the Ashe engaging? And then let's say
We're
like,
talking about ADCs here, not support.
okay, but like, bot lane's like a two people kind of
No,
thing,
no,
you
no,
know?
no, 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 no,
no,
no.
no, no.
Because now you're trying to excuse the fact that you're wrong by
Okay.
saying that support matters.
Okay, wait, hold on. If we're gonna do it like this though, then Morgana never died because Morgana doesn't exist.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying the support picks does not matter here. No matter what support she picked, that would have happened.
But what
Because
about
it was
the
an
gameplay goal?
Ash.
The gameplay goal didn't happen apparently. Gameplay don't exist. You know what doesn't exist? This Jarvan in a second here, getting slapped by the Sejuani, getting caught out here, just charmed up, man's down. Man got CC'd to death. Looking to actually get on the gangplank here, using the Ornalt. I don't know where that Ornalt was going. We're just gonna pretend that didn't happen. Flash happened. A lot of stuff's happening.
Indeed, it's League of Legends.
It's happening, but like, nothing's happening. Do you know what I mean?
No.
Abilities are being used, but abilities are not connecting, is what I mean. But it's okay. It happens. Top lane turret does go down here. Bottom lane turret still has that pressure.
Looks like mid lane turret might be falling as well.
You know, it could be
Although-
falling. This bot lane turret. You wanna know why? Ash has zero pressure. Ooh,
Maybe not.
am I stunned?
Oh, and guess whose bot lane turret didn't fall?
Uh-oh.
Guess why?
Feels bad when you have to blow your ultimate. It's okay. Jarvan's coming in with this awkward gank position.
It's no different than
Uh-oh.
Ezreal using his ultimate to clear a wave.
They're
in bot
getting
lane.
TP'd upon, and they don't even realize that they're just standing there. Gangplank coming in here, about to get that barrel. There it is right there. Flash forward. Spell shield getting hit. Root right there. Ooh, another root. Look at the combo. Mouse here coming in here looking for the ultimate. They're actually 5-manning by here, not really getting anything though. No dive actually
Get the turret.
coming out. Alright, well they're gonna get the turret. Are they gonna get the turret though? There's 4 people here to contest this. They could maybe look for something with Ornn ultimate here to engage. Morgana coming out a little bit early. No Ornn has come out yet. Ornn, in fact, is actually not up due to that last fight. Good charm coming out for Ari. Flashing around the Malzahar, so no Malzahar is going to happen. Tom Kench walking away. 5T looking to backpedal this. Should be pretty free. Nice little finish up there. Morgana binding going straight into the minions. I feel you. You know what's really hard? Playing Ashe.
Well, obviously, it's difficult playing any ADC these days because of how much everybody knows that the meta is centered around bot lane.
You know what's really hard? Positioning. Aw, it feels bad for Jarvan. You just took the bullet for Ashe, and Ashe still died. She E-kills over the wall. Forced to use his flash. Will Ornn actually connect?
Goodbye.
Yes, it will. There it is. They're donezo, man. BC looking like they're gonna just clean up this game here. They're about 5.7k gold lead. Numbers are hard. I can't read. I'm totally not about to graduate in like a week. Haha. How did I pass math?
Hey, who needs math in the real world, right?
For real, dude. Like on my senior schedule, I didn't need a math, and I told my teachers I don't want a math class. And then they put me in an honors math class. You know what I did in that class? Nothing. Literally nothing.
I mean, in this game, we just see. I honestly attribute the win here just to better JG wins, as the toxic people always say. You know, Sejuani's getting these plays, and Jarvan's. I can give him props. Jarvan is really trying, but I mean,
I beg to differ. His build is a little bit different, and I feel like he's going in at the wrong times here. I mean, he's trying to be the power play, he's trying to be the hero, but it's not working out here.
I don't
Definitely
think
not.
it's I don't think it's the build necessarily. I mean, it is attributing to it, but it's just his decision making is
Okay,
not
but
where it needs to be.
he went Cinderhulk and now he's got 2 long swords. You know what else is interesting? That charm. Unfortunately, just barely missed. Look at his damage coming out here. Oh, there goes half your health. Goodbye, Ash. Get out of my lane. Rift Herald goes over to which team? I'm sorry. My camera was on the bot lane.
I'm fairly sure this is Team BC.
I kind of figured.
Yes,
Yes.
Sejuani has Rift Herald.
Okay, good spot, my boy. I was looking for that. Ash over here, struggling to take the crop. Ash, by the way.
I mean, it would not be any different if it were Caitlyn, my dude.
Caitlyn has 2 levels on Ash. This is very different. Caitlyn
Okay,
has 30
but
farm.
assuming that Caitlyn was at the same level Ash was, I think any AD carries take jungle monsters early on in the game.
You know what else is a jungle monster? This Gangplank's about to be. He's a dead man. He's about to be the zombie in the jungle. New camp.
Not ironically, but interestingly enough, it's died all game. It's just because of a sloppy mistake. So definitely interesting.
It's definitely interesting. You know what else is interesting? You know what I'm gonna say?
It's pretty irrelevant right now, but you say whatever you want.
Ash. Look at that damage. Yeah. Unfortunately, right now, this Orin has the tabbies and the Iceborne. This Jarvan looking for an engage. I do not think this is an engage you want to look for here. Morgana, no spell shit coming out yet. Finding going around that Ash. Tom Catch,
Ooh,
good
nice,
pick here.
nice Dadara from Bench there.
Nice little soak up the damage. They use so much stuff right there, though, and they have nothing to really defend this. Ari coming in with the flank right here, getting Charm onto Calm Kench. Nice Q coming out, really damaging the Ash. Sejuani ult slowing them all. They should be able to clean them up here. Maybe. Possibly. Alright, they got one. They still have all this pressure, though. Honestly, should be able to get 2 turrets. And it's looking like it's about to be a 10k gold lead in about 25 minutes. That's the track we're on.
That's not what you want to be seeing.
That's not what you want to be seeing for 5T. If you're rooting for BC, it's a good day to be you. 5T, not so much.
I would really appreciate a best out of 3, but the current rate is going to be looking to be a 2-0 clean sweep here.
Well, you know what they say. If you win the best of 3, 2-0, you won the series. I don't really know what they say. I don't really know how I was going with that.
Yeah, that wasn't really going anywhere.
No, I was trying to think of some like rock, paper, scissors like metaphor. Because, you know, there's like 3 of them.
Interesting builds. I'm just taking a look at the builds here. I mean, Iceborne Gauntlet and Orin, not that different. We do see the
That should actually
Trinity
save him
Force and Trinity Force building a Cerex Gauge on the Gangplank, but the Shuralia's River on Morgana there.
there. You know what
Was
should just happen
not
while
expecting
you're,
that one out of all the items you could have built.
while you're identifying builds over there, R is out here catching Jarvan. Managed to get that nice charm on the Jarvan. Unfortunately, didn't finish him because Tom Kench used his flash, managed to swallow that man's up and get the shield onto him. Good times, good times. Here comes the siege, though. That's what you do with this Caitlyn Morgana kind of comp. Free siege. Morgana, or not Morgana, Malzahar, my bad. Has a lot of wave clear, though, so they really need to start splitting, getting these waves pushing, and forcing objectives out while they have this big lead. Which they appear to be going for right now because they got that Rift Herald pushing top. Ornn actually using his ult, God knows why. It looks like they're not really going to be looking to engage upon this. And
Figured they were probably just wasting time to get the Rift Herald with the tower.
that's a good binding
Yeah.
coming out. Wow, that's a
Oh,
long route with that brittle. Oh my lord. Stuck in between that little wall too, taking that max percent
And
health
he got
damage.
brittled again.
Jordan
Wasn't
looking to
even
engage on him, does no
finished.
damage because he's building tank. Gets absolutely just shredded down.
Well, see, he's building the same thing he built last game. We see the long swords, but he's actually building into a Titanic Hydra again.
You know what this Morgana really needs to build? A spell shield, apparently.
I wish that was an item you could build.
I
Well,
just-
technically it is. You can build a.
Edge of Night, that's neat. Uh-oh, Ashwell coming out here. There's no Malzahar ult to really follow up here. They have really nothing to follow
Oh,
up
Tom
with this.
Kench.
Tom Kench jumps in alone in the back line. I don't know what this man's doing. Looks like he was going for the flank, thinking that was going to be the big fight. Ash stepping up in the cut. Not really what you want to be doing right now. Good route coming on to Malzahar here. Wasn't really paying attention to the traps. Sejuani, flash forward, feeling like a big boy. Look at that damage. Yeah. Do some more. Ooh, a charm. Just barely missed. Oof. Yeah. So, how's that utility working for you? I wish we made bets on this game. Are you sad yet?
What?
Are you sad yet?
No,
No? You still
I'm
feeling
impartial.
you still feeling the Ash. Alright.
I mean, like I said, I still believe in the champion. I don't believe in the player necessarily. Sorry,
You know
Fizzy
what?
Kizit, but his example of an Ash gameplay wasn't exactly the best.
You know what? I believe Ash can do something, but I believe Ash into Caitlyn does nothing. I think Ash
Hey
in the
man,
right
we can argue about
matchups.
this all day, but there's a fight going on right now over the dragon.
I wouldn't even call this a fight. This looks like just a free dragon and a BC here. Gangplank ult being used. Now Jarvan's gonna be looking to come in. Ari needs to back up though. She keeps stepping, trying to back up. Stepping to try and back up. That's interesting sentence right there. Interesting sentence. Good thing that fight didn't go on. Otherwise, that would have been a mess. I'll tell you that.
Interestingly enough, there's only an 8k gold lead now, and I'm not quite sure how they're making up the gold difference, but Jarvan's hurting. He has 1 assist, no kills, 5 deaths, and he's almost half of Sejuani's total CS. And
You
as a
know what?
jungler, that's just detrimental.
He's got 50% kill participation.
True, yeah. I mean, I can't say that he hasn't done nothing because there's only been 2 kills whatsoever. But
Ooh, triple barrel. Ooh, Ash ult. Is this fine with the play? Is this a utility? Oh, flash. Oh, what are you going for? What's the move? What's the move? Morgana's coming in. Spell shield. Able to land the root. They could actually maybe turn this. Mouse are coming in with the turn here. Lane's just to get charmed. Just absolutely melted here. Caitlyn's here now. Jarvan jumping in there. Orange absolutely frontlining everything here. No damage coming out onto him. She's too tanky with all that armor. Charm. Unfortunately misses. Some Ash slows coming out here. Just getting absolutely murdered by the Caitlyn and the Ahri. Jarvan's trying to do a little escape. Man's caught down by the Glacial Fissure. Correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe it should be called Soul Furnace. That's such a good name.
I'm sorry.
Soul Furnace. I'm just so proud of myself.
Go to ask right.
I'm gonna ask Riot to change that to Soul Furnace. Something has to be called Soul Furnace in this game. Is it like a Scion ability?
I think it's a Scion ability, actually. Yeah.
Okay. It's
Could
probably
be
a,
wrong. You
it's
could
probably
always,
a
you can always
shield.
look it up at your leisure.
My phone is near me. Oh, true. My dad.
Fairly
called me
sure Soul Furnace is the name of Scion's W, but I could be wrong. I don't remember.
I am researching this as we speak. As researching it, I saw Minecraft, my personal favorite game. Okay, it is an ability. What ability is it? It is Silence W. We're so intelligent.
Well, personally, I don't play Scion, but after seeing the ability name a few times, it just gets stuck in your head.
You know, honestly, I just like playing him and screaming "die" when I ult. Don't
The only
know.
reason I ever play Scion is to not play Scion,
But he's so
because I
fun.
don't.
He's like, alright, so like you want to play tank, but you want to play a cool tank. So you pick
Nope.
Scion. You know what else you want to do? Not step up like that as Malzahar. I didn't even catch that. Ooh, that's a good spell shield though. Able to prevent the Tom Kench from eating him. He was stepping up way too far for how they are doing right now. They need to be playing a little bit more defensively than they are. Caitlyn just... Wow, that Q actually should have hit. Ornal might be able to snipe the Ashe here. Are being a bit way too aggressive with this.
Ashe is alive.
Ashe is alive. Morgana, maybe not so much.
Looking at the scores right now, I mean, Malzahar and Jarvan just not their games today. Honestly,
Looking at the fact that Baron is still alive, I question this. I mean,
just looking at, I forget which side was which, but I'm fairly sure that Zero Lux was the Syndra last game, and while he popped off that game, that was just due to a lot of good early jungle pressure. He didn't really get that this game, and you can see it just made a difference. Now he's struggling to stop sliding farther and farther behind with every second this game goes on.
I agree with you. What I think needs to happen right about now, though, is that Baron. I mean, BC, they have the over 10k gold lead. Just Just walk on it. Just walk on it, literally. That's all you need to do at this point. I mean, 5T
Well,
really like doesn't hold a key to you.
There's nothing stopping them from contesting the Baron, and Baron's always a really tricky objective because even when you're ahead, it's the Baron's hitting you the whole time that you're trying to fight. So that's just an extra damage source, and it's not something you can do lightly, especially when all the 5 members of the enemy team are up.
I mean, while I agree with you, at this point, I think they need to do something other than shoving in these turrets. I mean, what they're doing might eventually work, but it's giving time for 5T to actually scale up.
Well, really, this would work if Caitlyn would just auto the tower, because they do have the wave crash into the tower, and Caitlyn could get at least like a couple autos, but she's just sitting there waiting back, trying to clear, and she's not being aggressive enough.
Unfortunately, I might see this Ashe actually scale up. I'm sorry to hear that. Oh, never mind. I might not. She just Ashe ulted the Ahri. A bit late on the bot side there. I think she tried to save that turret. Should have just realized that was long gone. And now her ult's not going to be up for another 50 seconds or so. Feels bad, man. I feel
And we can see it right here. The Gangplank Barrels is being shot down before they get anywhere, so it makes a lot of sense that he's building a Sterix Gauge this game.
I definitely would be too. Definitely no more of that lethality. I mean, it did some good damage, but I think Sterix is the way to go. But yeah, I agree with you. She needs to hit this turret, like, anytime now. Any day now, honey. Hit that thing.
And in reality, this is exactly what 5T needs. They just need to stall this game out.
Yeah.
Get their carries ahead, or not even ahead, just get them caught up. Get their items. I mean, Ashe just hit her 2-item power spike, and if I were to guess correctly, she'll be building a QSS right now, so she's gonna be hurting a lot pretty soon.
You know what's funny? They get this dragon, like they actually rotate down for the dragon as soon as it spawns, but Baron's just not even being touched whatsoever.
Well, that's really, like I said, because Dragon's an easy objective to take, and Baron is a lot more risky, especially, like I said, when all members of the enemy team are up. They would have known.
I just want to see something to happen with a 12k gold lead. I mean, we're just kind of sitting around here, not really doing anything.
Well, as you're fond of reminding people, this is a bronze and silver game, so you can't expect too many things to happen.
Well, there you go. We see the gauge coming out finally from 5T there, as Ahri went a bit too aggressive, caught the Mauser hole, and BC actually does pretty much lose this one. Ornal coming out here to try and peel them off. Caitlyn might be able to get a good amount of damage going off here. Mauser doesn't have ult. Driver doesn't really want to engage without his ult either. It looks like 5T still does have to back off. Maybe going to get some damage on this turret finally. Just maybe.
I sincerely doubt it.
Maybe not. Unfortunately.
That engage is just super interesting because Sejuani flashes in to try to get the Ashe, and there's just no backup for that. Ahri had already died, and everyone else was trying to kite backwards. Ornn wasn't even in that fight until the very end.
It looks like they got impatient and were trying to make that game-ending play, but they just don't know how to make that game-ending play.
And you're like I said, you're talking about the gold lead here, and in reality, that really doesn't matter because it just comes down to the skill and doing something like Baron when 5T can pull something like that from a straight up 5v5 in a lane, much less trying to fight over Baron. Like that's exactly why BC knows that they should not be going for the Baron unless people are dead.
I definitely think 5T played that correctly and responding to that right, but I think BC just weren't on their right mind there. I think they were just playing impatiently, aggressively, possibly having a good time, thinking they just have this game in the bag, instead of actually making a calculated decision and rotating and doing all sorts of stuff they need to be doing. It's only a matter of time, though. However, that did give 5T some confidence. Now they're actually being able to step up outside of their base, possibly even get some vision. It's an exciting day for them to see the outside world.
Well, here we go. Now you're seeing the dance around the Baron that you so wanted.
Well, now we see the Ornal that connects with no one. But
we are seeing them very split up.
Dash ult actually does land on Caitlyn there.
Enchanted Crystal Arrow actually sniping the Caitlyn right in the back, forcing them to back off.
I wouldn't even say forcing him. Morgana Q just barely missing here. We should just Ornn to actually step up right here, which he is. Got some spellbinding on him, so nothing can hit him. He's feeling pretty safe. Ashe stepping up way too far, just gets absolutely melted. Uh-oh. I agree with you with that player on Ashe. Getting engaged on Tom Kench here. 5T is going to have to try and backpedal out of this, but there's just no way they can backpedal out of this. BC has way too much CC, way too much pressure. I mean, look at this Caitlyn. She just 3 steps up on his Malzahar. He can't do anything. They don't even look to end the game here. Looks like they're gonna look for Baron. Or a Caitlyn ult. One or the other. Or both. Good time though. Good time.
Indeed.
Indeed. You know
Now
what?
the mistake here was more along the lines of in item builds because, like I said, I feel like Ashe is building into a QSS, but she decided to go for a Vamp Scepter. And while Lifesteal is nice, especially against the team comp that she's facing, a QSS would have been much more needed. And in that case, the life-saving item.
I think it's not the item builds. I think it's the positioning. That Ashe positioning was not correct
Nope.
at all.
I agree with that, but like I said, if she had the QSS, that would have turned out differently.
I mean, I wouldn't even say that. I mean, the Caitlyn was still in a good position and had red buff for the slow, so I think she was just merged. I mean, either way, she would have been taken out of that fight, and I think they still could have gotten turret and hit him. Could she possibly have lived? Yeah. Would things have turned out much better there? No. But I do agree with you, QSS being a pretty mandatory option in this game, with the Morgana, the Ahri Charm, and the Sejuani ult. It's necessary. Something you need, especially with an Ornn on this comp, getting that brittle, so you're even hit longer. Charm gonna be coming down on the Ahri here, just completely caught. You're dead, you're gone. Too much damage coming out there. She tried with her ult of her own. Unfortunately, the closer the target is to you on Ashe, the shorter the stun.
Indeed.
Did it used to be like that with Taric? Remember old Taric stun? I don't know if you played then.
I don't think I played way back then.
Oh man, those are the glory days. Those are real Taric. Gosh, it's been so long since they've reworked Taric. I'm old.
Well,
bad.
it does look like the final game-ending push is coming through here for BC.
Definitely is. Ashe is not going to be up for another 10 seconds. Sejuani ult coming out here for the slow. Gangplank's walking around trying to do something here. Won't be surprised. Mouseheart's going to ult the Caitlyn here. Maybe.
Absolutely
not.
no damage to Caitlyn. Oh my god.
Yeah, she's just face tanking everything right now. Half healthing Ashe with one auto attack there. Pentacle probably would have come out there if the game didn't end, but it is done.
Mouseheart, EQ, minions, and almost even an ulti, and just oh my god, I can't. I have no words for that. She just sat there, took it like a woman, doesn't even care. Hey, well, I can't say like she took it like a man because that's incorrect.
Good point. I mean, yes. So, let's talk about damages for a second here. Actually, there's nothing to talk about here. Ashe, she did the most she could. I mean, they were still hard behind. 13k damage. Honestly acceptable at this point. Yeah, that was pretty standard game there. I won't even say it was actually standard. I mean, I think BC did a good job of snowballing their lead in the beginning. I think there could have been some better macro play there around the 20-minute mark to 30-minute. They could have definitely done something different.
And yeah, see, look at that. The Ashe damage, like, while compared to the Caitlyn damage, was not the greatest, but the Ashe damage was still comparable. I mean, a Malzahar, she should not be out damaging a Malzahar. And the fact that she was that game is pretty telling. But no matter what ADC it is, if the other ADC is ahead, they're going to out damage you. That's just how it works because they've had more people to kill.
And that's one of the things is that Caitlyn, she's just a natural like champion that just wins lane, so she's always going to have that lane pressure. But their bot lane and their jungler never really coordinated anything to stop that from happening. I mean, she did okay there in the beginning with poking down, but like you said, she just ran out of mana. And as soon as that was over, Caitlyn regained her pressure.
Indeed.
Feels bad, man. Feels bad, man. It was a good series, though. Definitely a good series coming out from BC 20.
Well played to both teams. You know, if I had to pick an MVP from each side, oh man, I don't even know where to begin. I think
to be honest.
I'm not sure which team was which, but I believe it was the 5T Shen who turned into a Gangplank. Odimir. I'm so sorry, I'm butchering his name, but
yeah, I have to agree with you on that. That was definitely MVP worthy. He held throughout that and definitely popped off with the ult.
The Shen gameplay was on point, and you know, even as a Gangplank, he was still putting in a lot of damage, and while he didn't get the necessarily the kills, he definitely was still making those plays. And on the side of BC,
I'm gonna have to give it
I
to the
mean,
mid laner.
I would have to give it to another
Amutsuba 15.
impossible pronounced lane, Amutsuba.
Yeah,
Amutsuba.
Amutsuba 15, my boy. That's the homie. Yeah, really
He's
until game one was definitely pressure worthy. He kept pressuring everyone. He was a bit aggressive at times and had a bit of awkward positioning, but he did a
either
lot of
that,
consistent damage and his ult and stuns were on point.
either that get to Amutsuba, or honestly, I think Pesto is probably equally or more worthy because
He had some good jungle pathing. I noticed that.
as the old saying goes, better JG wins.
Better jungler wins. How sad.
And honestly, God Hog, if you're listening to this right now, you were not that bad. It's just got a little bit out macroed, and only advice I have for you there is to take some scuttles, man. Those are
Yeah,
entirely worth it.
I would switch up the build too, buddy. I mean, I'm not gonna say it's terrible, but I don't think it's ideal. You just lack the damage. I mean, going Cinderhulk into Titanic, that's not
I
a
mean,
big
those two
thing.
items go well together, yes, but you do not want to be building them on Jarvan
Also, if you're gonna build
necessarily.
a Titanic, I'd build Tiamat and then finish like Warrior, and then like maybe something else. I don't know. I'm a big Warrior person. Hell, I'd even go Warrior into like maybe Cleaver or Dustblade over Cinderhulk Titanic. It just feels awkward, in my opinion.
Right.
Busy
Well,
Kizzit, work on that positioning, buddy. That's my advice.
that's all I have to say for tonight.
That's all I have to say to you, buddy. Alrighty, well, that's going to wrap it up. Tune in next week on twitch.tv/Risen Esports for Rampage Week 3. I don't know who we're having then. I can't tell you. But check in tomorrow for Dominate. I don't know who's being streamed. And we also have Champions on Sundays too. We have an alumnus league, but it is not streamed or recorded. It is a for fun league. Feels bad, man. Interesting at times. Alright, I'll see y'all around and have a great night.